Hi, guys, and welcome to another Tales of the Towers. I'm joined by my co host, Nico Joubert. Welcome, brother. How was your day?
Oh, busy one on the road. These roads are absolute stuff up this time of the year, all the trucks and stuff. But yeah, no, had a
Mm.
good one. I hear you calling everybody connectors. So, hi, connectors. Yeah, I've
Hi,
missed a few tales.
connectors.
I've been a little busy working on myself. So, no,
No, excellent. Well done. Tell us about that a bit. Boys are home. You're happy to have the family around again, and you're working out.
yeah, yeah, no. So, school holiday. Boys are back at home. Very happy about that. Seriously enjoying some extra time with him. Missed the eldest a lot, not only seeing him weekends. And I've become his gym partner. The body is sore. He's keeping me busy.
Ah, well done. Well done. I'm really proud of you. No, it's been quite a uh, adventurous year, if I can put it that way. And I was thinking of maybe like highlighting a couple of things. I was just going through the stats on the computer now and having a look at our growth numbers since January to October. That's the stats that Samantha gave us. We've added 106 clients and 143,000 Rand to our turnover, which isn't too bad. In the beginning of the year, we had plans of big, hairy, audacious goals, and we reset our goals halfway through the year. And I think the fact that we set these massive goals to the staff and when they don't reach it, that must be demoralizing. And that was my idea of let's just go. What do you think?
If you look at the way we're planning our mornings, getting momentum done, it's it's easy to get yourself motivated if you're ticking off in that wins column. You're sitting with 4 or 5 wins from yesterday. And if you've got these big, hairy, audacious goals, and that you just, I didn't make it, I didn't make it, it's difficult to get momentum in your morning. Oh, I'm still 10 sales short, or I still need to do 15 installations for the month. Where, yeah, I think the fact that we're hitting goals in the middle of the month already, it's as if the staff and everybody's morale is up and everybody keeps pushing. It's not that there's a lull after they've hit the benchmarks. It's okay, but let's smash this.
In the middle of the month, as you said, they've reached it. And I think the goal that we set for the year next year looks like we're heading for March next year. We're going to have smashed that as well. It's very nice to know that you're reaching your objectives and doing what you were planning on doing. So that's a bit of a change. Now, wanted to talk about our highlights for the year. Personally, if I can start, I think the fact that we change our whole meeting cadence, that we communicating more regularly and often, has made a massive difference in the team and the morale. We're not micromanaging them as much, and I'm finding that I used to have an endless to-do list with everybody. What's this task list on my phone? It was just growing and growing, and now I quickly address it in the mornings. Guys, have you remembered that? Yes, I've done it. No, okay, whoops, I'll sort it out for you. So the micromanaging bit is much less. So the meeting cadences, I feel, has made a massive difference.
Oh, on that, just the fact I wish it's something that we could 100% measure, but we're definitely saving money on fuel, although our fuel budget's up. Because we hitting the targets and the guys are in the field and there's more clients to look after. But the workload in the day with the guys getting to everything is more manageable because of the morning meeting. Because of the ladies in the office, they don't know the difference between Kamsushwa and Tonga, and they don't know the difference how far it is from Farm X to Malalan. When the techs are talking to each other in the morning meetings, and they're getting the list of jobs that needs to be done in the huddle quickly, they are swapping jobs around in that huddle just to make sure. But listen, I am close by, so I can tackle the next two. So the girls are doing their jobs. They assigning jobs, but they don't know the area. We It's not a big area, but it's still a sizable geographic. And there's places that Numsi's never been and Tandi's never been. So sending somebody there and they blind. So the techs talking to each other in the mornings is, I'm telling you, we're saving a lot of money on fuel and efficiency. Just the guys getting to everything in time.
Yeah, and honestly, if I miss the huddle, I feel like lost for the day. I don't know what's happening. I'm starting to use AI to send me meeting scripts and transcriptions of what happened in the meeting. But if I miss that morning meeting, I literally feel like my day is unorganized, disorganized, and I love to know what the team are doing. There's one or two things that I want to add. Actually, I want to add what were our wins and what's causing noise for the guys so they can talk about that. We had a nice one the other day when Umsi actually mentioned that she feels like she's not getting to the marketing bit. And then we suggested that we go put up the Corex boards for her. And she said, no, it's fine. I'll get to it. I'm just telling you what noise I have. And that makes the people feel more safe and they can actually talk about issues that they have. And we can always try and give them advice.
No, well, I'm loving our little breakfast after our huddles, because I get to hear your noise, and with our setup and our partnership, most of my to-do list comes out of your noise and the rest of the staff's noise. So I get to fill up my to-do list from everybody else's noise. So I need this morning huddle. I need our morning breakfast. That's how I fill up my day.
Big up for handling that client this afternoon, and thank you for that, for handling my noise. I really appreciate that. One more lesson that I learned this year was the way that I communicate with the staff bothered some of them. I used to say things like, hey, can I quickly see you? And it actually came through that it bothered them. Why do I want to see them? Please explain why you want to talk to me. Am I in trouble? And it's
Yeah.
just, it freaked me out. Of course, you're not in trouble. So I've changed that to make the staff feel more safe in our environment. Can I bounce an idea off you quickly? Can I talk to you about X, Y, and Z? So that's another lesson that I learned. I didn't think that it had such a massive impact on them. It's weird how people literally take things up very personally. And I think
Yeah, sorry.
that where they say that you're back. Okay. So where they say that what you say is heard through a megaphone and what you do is seen through a microscope is true. People literally spend so much time in the day with you that you become like a second father or brother, and the way that you speak to them matters a lot. And to me, that's very interesting that I was actually causing uncomfortableness and insecurity in the team by the way that I spoke and asked them questions. I don't know, you totally different
Yeah.
to me. You like small
You,
talk
you,
and
you know what?
chatting and whatever,
One of the big
and I
things
think
is
they
it's
relate to
human
you.
nature to feel
Other hen.
wanted. It's human nature to feel that somebody's listening to you and that your opinion matters. But then it's also human nature to actually not want to be in trouble, if you hear what I'm saying, and not to make mistakes. And that's actually one of the things that we really work hard on, is to encourage
Mm,
staff that making
yeah,
mistakes. Yeah.
that Jordan
So one of the
Peterson
things
told.
is that we encourage staff to make mistakes. You're not trying. You're doing nothing. You're being safe. You're just crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And what happens is people are scared of failure, and that's where the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman comes, and just a normal day to day worker, is that fear of failure. And one of the things that I'm teaching Brian, my eldest, is he's dabbling in starting up two or three businesses, and he's getting frustrated because there's stuff that's not working, and he's trying and trying, and he's trying the next idea. And what I'm trying to instill in him is every single one of these failures is just a lesson and training, life training. You've learned a skill, but for our staff, and that please come and see me outside, or let's quickly have a talk, or I need to talk to you. It's that fear of failure or fear of disappointing. And remember, we're building a family, and it's a father figure telling you, can I talk to you? So obviously, what did I do wrong? Where am I wrong? Where did I disappoint you? And that's normal. That's basic human. So you were talking, let's jump
That's so
back
true.
onto highlights of the year. We got a bit sidetracked there. One of my big hi- One of my big highlights, I'd say, also hitting close to 180 clients
Yeah.
for the year was massive. Some serious, yeah, yeah. We still have 20 days left. We still
We,
have
we're
20
going
days
to
left.
knock that out of the park, right? That's October, November,
Very
and
good.
December.
I think that's way over our wildest expectations. Other big wins, it's awesome to say we are World Cup champions again, or still. That's always a big win for me. But personally wise, goals I set myself beginning of the year, personal goals, weight loss goals, stuff. The year took a long turn before I could actually really get myself going. So I must say this the last 3 to 4 months has been a serious change in my own health and weight loss and personal goals, which is a very big win. I'm very happy, very chuffed. I'd say about halfway there. Maybe not halfway yet, but at least the wheel is rolling. It's become a lifestyle.
Well done. Well done. Really. It's interesting. Showed you the other day that I wrote in my book, like a little bit of affirmations. You can't really see it. And then at the bottom, I wrote Joshua 9, verses 8. And then a couple of weeks later, I actually got an armband with Joshua 9, verses 8 that somebody just took off and gave to me and says they think I should have this. So, what's really interesting to me is since I've started writing stuff down and going through the daily checklist and implementing the wins and the noises and the intentions for the day and the to dos and the gratitude journal, things have started to manifest. And I think if you write something down in a book, it really makes a huge difference. And I keep on telling my kids that somebody out there knows that and sees that you write things down, and the moment that you write those things down, he starts working to make it a reality. That's all that I can think, is that writing things down is like waving
Waving
a
that red
magic
flag and the bull
spell.
charges. Some of the stuff we've written down has really just sort of came crashing down on us, a bit positive, but yeah. So sometimes it's a little ship far away, and some of the other stuff is like
Mm,
a raging bull just hits you.
mm.
Writing down and the morning routine,
But
it's in Afrikaans. There's a saying, "Wat die hart van vol is die mond van oor." So whatever's in your heart just overflows what you talk. And since we've been running these journals, I've got a close friend who started doing it. I've got two relatives that I've spoken to them and told them how it's going and how it works. They've started doing it. My eldest son has started doing it. Yeah, so it's working. So I tell everybody about it. And then funny enough, everybody is listening and okay, but please tell me, how does it work, and what's the steps? And it's amazing.
mm,
It's honestly amazing that everybody's yes, that makes sense. This is something that I can do every morning. This is something that can make a difference in my life.
I'm so glad, because if they say the rising tide pushes all the boats higher, all the ships go higher with the rising tide. So it's so good that things that we learn helps other people, and I love it if other people gives me advice as well that helps for me. And I think there's so many books written about the power of intention. And I can't remember, some doctor wrote and he had an interview on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And I actually read his book, but there was no tactics. He didn't give us tactics. And then at least I got hold of Alex Chaffin, and he said, okay, so intention is the difference that you want to make in your and other people's lives. But how? Write it down and write everything down, and that the to-do list manifests your intention. So the stuff that you plan on doing every day, write it down, go look at what you did yesterday and what you won, and then that manifests into your intentions of getting gifts into your life. And it's such a good tactical way of doing
I just
and
love the part
manifesting your
where
in
I'm starting
life.
with gratitude, and so obviously that already with our meditations, and I'm definitely not meditating as much as we did previously, but I still do. And it's the whole writing down, my process has become part of the meditation in a way as well. So just starting off grateful is amazing. Then that's listing off yesterday's wins. That's so much momentum for your next day. And then obviously ending off with noise. The way I tell my son is that stuff that you cannot do or you've got no say over. It's something that's bothering you. It's taking away from your laser focus what you need to get done today. And by writing that down, that's the last time today I'm going to think about it. This is not going to stop my day anymore. This is not going to have an influence on what I'm doing. I've written this down. It's done. I'll stress about it tomorrow morning when I write it down again. But I can focus. It's done. It's out of the way.
But what's interesting, many times when I talk about my noise, like my noise is dinner. I hate cooking dinner and I hate shopping for dinner. Then I just add another to do item there. Order dinner online for the month. And then I do it. I save to order dinner and then I
No,
order 30 meals
I
online.
understand.
And that
If
noise
I
is
had to take a
sorted.
friend of mine's example, one of his noises is the rand dollar is screwing his total business, right? There's nothing, can't do anything about that.
Mm.
So it's written down, it's done, and then how to find where to find other income streams or how to streamline the business or whatever. So that is one of those noises that it's there, you can't do anything about it, and then your intent and your to-do list shifts, and you know what you need.
My noise the other day
Oh yeah,
was the
oh yeah.
lightning. I heard lightning and it bothered me. Anything about it, but it's there. It's in the book. Lightning to me is always a stress because of the towers and things, but it's written down, it's done, can't do anything about it. So we've been very airy fairy, and I think the airy fairy bit is for our kids one day when they come back to these podcasts and they already know the system, and I've showed them how to write it down. And as kids are, they don't really implement it. I've tried, and I don't see them with a book and writing it down. But lessons are caught, not taught. So hopefully they'll lock onto that one day. But let's get into some technical things. One thing about the ISP business that I want to talk to you about, and maybe somebody could give us some advice on this. We've used the mimosas, the C5Xs and the C5Cs as backhaul links because we get that extra bit of bandwidth that they give us in the 6 gigahertz spectrum. And now it seems like Mimosa really, I don't know what's happening, but the 6 gigahertz equipment that they brought out is just not working if I look on the forum. So I don't even want to risk buying that equipment and playing with it. Also, you have to buy licenses to build point to point links. Oh, you cannot buy licenses to build point to point links. You need to buy the B6X. So
Yeah.
it looks like the Mimosa way of building our backhauls in future is going to disappear. I've heard a lot of good stuff about the cambiums. I've read on the forums that the people use the cambiums. We've never used cambiums. What do you guys think? What do you
Yeah,
think, Nico? Should we start
it's
looking?
big thing is in our area is the distance. There's a lot of products that we could build amazing links, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, but a lot of our links are very longer links, and then it's
Mm,
difficult because Mimosa has been solid and doing us well for the last 8 years, and it's really
good
it's a
for them.
product that I've grown to love, and
Mm,
honestly, we haven't had a lot of issues.
mm.
It's just the bleak future that's very worrying.
Yeah, it's
They've
very.
sold it again,
I don't
second
know.
time.
Since they've had management change and they've sold the company, I don't know. But
Yeah, it was
anyway,
Airspan, and Airspan again now has been bought.
really? Okay, that so there's obviously a lot of turmoil in that company at the moment. It was really a good product. I loved it. Another question that or subject that I just quickly want to talk about is: do you remember how we struggled in the beginning when we just started the company? And I think personally, I did the first 120 to 130 installs. I did with a staff member, and how things have changed. Us being in the field, doing the work in the trenches, and the amount of drama and stress that it caused us. Do you think running a WISP is possible on your own? I know people that kind of do it on their own, but scaling. Can you
To
scale running a
if
WISP
this
as
is
a
difficult
single or
because
two people in the business?
I'd say starting a WISP up to about 200, 300 clients. You'd with somebody to help, just let's say 2 person job. Not even big, at least an admin person as well. So two in the field and one in answering phones and taking phone calls.
Mm.
Yeah. That would be, yeah. Somebody for the books, somebody
Looking
to
after the
answer the
schedule.
phones. Yeah, and then two in the field. You could start and get to 200, 250 that way. You could.
Mm,
The thing is, since day
mm,
one, the two of us, as we've always had the big dream, and we've always been gearing new systems on all our podcasts. We've talked about the different systems and getting something and upgrading, constant upgrading of the
mm,
towers, of the bandwidth, of the systems, of the responsibilities in the team, getting the processes streamlined. Because I'm 100% sure there's whispers with the amount of clients we've got that maybe have more staff. And definitely I know of at least two that, and yeah, and then I know of at least two that have less. And
or less.
area, but there's some serious driving to do. So it's a 45-minute drive or it's an hour drive, depending on where you're sitting at that stage. Where if you were in a
Mm,
bigger metropole, your driving time is slower or
mm,
is faster. So it's only 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, again, they've got traffic, we don't. But yeah, so there's a lot of factors. In the bigger cities, your installs are,
mm,
I'd say, could be maybe easier. I don't know. It's maybe higher to climb, higher buildings. For us, we're sitting with a lot of thatch roofs, and that's a difficult thing to climb. It's the cable
mm,
work
mm,
gets difficult. So it's not a. I actually had a talk with Brian on the weekend where I spoke how we were setting our goals with 2 hours per install per tech, 8 hour day, and we got to this stupid amount of 80 installs a month, possibly with everything running smoothly.
mm,
And then he was like, 2 hours? How could it only take? How could it take 2 hours for install? Because it's only a little
mm,
router. I said,
mm,
okay, and all the cable work and the engineering of the bracket on site, and because the
mm.
generic exactly what was some of those early installs, in two
3-story
ladders on top
buildings.
of each other
Mm,
and tying them together to get up 3 stories. So two ladders to get up 3 stories on top of the back of a bucky just to
mm.
get up high enough. Then you get sites where you
Yeah,
have to plant a
crazy.
6 meter pole and the line
Mm,
of sight's not right, and they have to take the pole down and
mm,
align it again and put it back up. It takes time. And so to be 100% efficient and not. So I think a lot of WISPs, when they start off, there's this influx. So you start trying to find clients, you get two or three, word of mouth starts going, they talking to each other, your marketing's working, and you get this boom where you're sitting with 10, 15 installs waiting. And as the business owner, being on the install and taking a phone call and trying to remember what you promised and when are you going to be there for a line of sight, it becomes unmanageable. And then you have to make the decision, are you breaking the speed of this business and we can only go this fast because I need to handle everything? Or are you giving the responsibilities to a scheduler, to an accountant, to a salesperson, and you as the business owner start managing the relationships with all of them and the communication between all of them? That's when you scale, and that's when you start really streamlining the business, where you cannot as a single person handle everything. It's impossible.
and customer service suffers. And honestly, without customers, you don't have a business. And if the customer service suffers, that is a major problem. That's something that you cannot allow to happen. And if customer service suffers, you need to address it very quickly. And I think our customer service still needs some improvement. We can get it better, and it's all about communicating with the client properly. But a mistake that we made in our business Tech Connect was, I think we scaled our staff for growth, and then we had staff members sitting around not busy enough, sitting around operating at 30, 40, 50% instead of 100%, and they become bored and irritated. And you want busy staff. Staff need to be pumping and pushing. And
Yeah.
that was one mistake that we made, is we employed too many staff hoping for that growth and not
Yep,
getting
no,
the expected
100%,
results.
100%.
And then
I'd
you've got
say
unhappy staff
for
sitting
me,
around doing
and
that.
especially one of the big lessons over the last year, I'd say the two most important parts of running a business. my personal opinion, humble opinion, and please comment and send me an email if you think I'm wrong. But I'd say the first two most important things to work on is one, your product. Use your product, be in love with your product, believe in your product, and two, your support, after sale support of that product. And if you've got those two, you can go to the moon.
Mm. Before you market, before you sell, get that right, and it takes years. It doesn't happen overnight. You release a product and there's faults, and then if you go and sell and market that on a big scale, the word of mouth is just going to explode negatively. And the young entrepreneurs don't realize that they've got this product and they just put it on the market and go on Facebook and ad
Yeah,
and
no,
whatever. And
definitely.
in the meantime,
And
get
word
the
of mouth,
product right first.
just the sales that you get from word of mouth. I'm wrong, but I think we didn't spend. I don't think we spent anything on marketing except for branded clothing and branding cars. That was the only money we spent on this year. So for the first 7 years, we didn't spend anything on
Until this
marketing
year.
apart from branding our cars and branding the staff and ourselves. That's that.
100%. Correct. I was only willing to do that once I was 100% happy that there weren't any issues with the product and the customer service. And I'm 80% happy and I want to push that up to 100%. And I saw an interesting interview about Jordan Peterson the other day that he actually had a lecture to his class in Canada. And he said that they did a study on zebras and the scientists couldn't distinguish the zebras from each other. So they sprayed or put a big red blot on the zebra to study that one zebra. And the next day they got to where they were looking, where the zebras were. That zebra would be dead and gone and taken out because the lions could then identify the zebra. And the point that he was trying to make was the stripes on the zebra is not for camouflage. The stripes on the zebra is to make the whole group look the same. And the point that he was trying to make was when you try to sell something, people are only going to buy not to fail. They're not going to buy to serve their needs or to make their wife happy. The biggest worry is failure. So you need to address the fact that by buying your product, your client's not going to fail. And that's why it's so important to get the product right. Because imagine how bad the client's going to feel spending money on your product and then feeling like a failure because it doesn't work or do what it says it's going to do. It's really critical. And there's certain ways that you can create social credibility by getting reviews and asking for reviews. And end of the day, just need a superior product to everybody out there. What was the saying?
Yeah.
You'll never get fired for buying an IBM. You want to become the IBM of the market. Okay, just to recap quickly, things that we changed in our business was the meetings. So we've got our weekly meeting and we've got our daily huddle, which literally sometimes just takes 5 minutes going through the day and quickly chatting with the staff, and really love that. Then we actually also implemented written projects, monthly projects for the staff. So giving them all the mini project and making sure that the business grows and gets better and the product and service grows and gets better by implementing the project. So if a staff member comes to you and say, hey, I have nothing to do, what can I do for you? Check your projects. Have you done your projects? That to me is very important, something that we implemented, which is working out great. We can see the 1%, 2%, 3% changes in the business getting better.
Listen, let's talk about highlights. So I didn't really have a long
That's
think
it.
about it. Honestly, I'd say a big highlight. If you really have to do some introspection,
Mm.
and if we had to look at, apart from processes, apart from the physical upgrades that we've done this year, I think as a group, as a core group, we've lost members, we've gained members. I think as a team, you and me as leaders, the growth, the togetherness in the team, and then just numbers wise. the growth we've done this year is a massive, massive highlight in terms of let's put it this way: if we had a sit down last year, December, we listed everything we've got done this year and said, "Listen, let's shake on it. Would you be happy?" I'd down my beer, shake your hand, and said, "I'll take it 100%."
I'm so chuffed with the team. They've literally taken responsibility for so many things, and I actually see it with the newer members of the team coming in and asking for permission and asking, can or should I do this? And then you see that the senior people, they just do it. They know, do it, fail, try, learn. And it's been so difficult for me when I listen to them trying to figure something out and I have the answer in my head. I just want to jump in and let's just do this and stop wasting time. But then, how do you learn? How do you learn? The other day, Fricky asked me, how do I reset the Synology NAS's password? And I just WhatsApp back, Google is your friend. And I literally had the answer. Hold the button in for 5 seconds till it beeps twice, and then it's going to reset and it's going to ask you for a password again. And it took him about 45 minutes, and then he phoned me again. Am I going to reset the whole NAS? I said, I don't know. What do you think? It's very important to listen to the beeps. That's all tip that I'm going to give you. He's going to try this. And he got it, you know.
So
And that's the only
your
way that you learn
December
is by
plan,
doing.
the two of us are going to try to wind down
Yeah.
a little bit from next week. Your plan, your Christmas wishes. I, I reckon we should do one
Mm.
more, at least one more tale,
December's
end of the year
December's
Christmas greetings. Thank you, everybody. One. I think we should do that and end off that one with for the year. But
mm,
yeah, just your plans
mm.
and
Yeah, December is all about mommy. Mommy needs a rehab built, and we need to build a clinic. So all the whole of December, I've told Deirdre, my wife, that I'm going to be with her. We're going to get her business up and running off the ground. She's got a wildlife rehab center called Wild and Free, and she's going to build a world class facility. And she's got the experience and the skills to make it amazing, but she needs a bit of a helping hand in terms of labor and in terms of labor, basically getting the ground broken and the electric fences put up and things like that. I'll become her operator and help her with that so she can deal with it, and that's what I promised her I'll do. So December's a work month for me, but it's nice work. It's like really dealing with the animals and dealing with the cages and getting all of that. To me, that's like an ideal hobby
awesome, buddy. Hats
that I
off.
love.
That's a
So
very good
yeah,
husband
and yours,
wife
Niku?
project to work on in any case. I think there's a lot of positives in that as well. From my side, I've got aspiring rugby player that's in a off-season bulking for next year. So obviously, I'm supporting that, and unluckily, pulled in. So I'm doing all the same exercises. Then otherwise, the youngest has also joined the movement. He's also in the gym. Then I think this is going to be dad and son time, downtime. I think there will be some binge gaming, some serious movies, definitely a bit of fishing here and there. But yeah, no, it's just I can't wait for the morning meetings and then I'm done for the day. So I'll be in the huddle. I'll either Zoom or quickly drive in. I'll get my huddle in for the day. And then from there, it'll be quality time with the boys.
No, well done, man. I love you, brother, and thank you for everything that you've done and handling my noise. I really appreciate it, and love to the family. And yeah, so
Not be here
chuffed
without
how
you.
this year
So
went.
actually, let's
Thanks
answer
to
that
you.
question. Can you run a wisp alone? I say no. Get a best friend, get a family member, get somebody that you trust with your life, and build a wisp with that person. I'll end it on that. There we go. All
And
right, connectors. Thank you
yeah,
so
and
much.
get
I
a
missed you guys.
fantastic team together like we have. Okay, cheers, guys. Bye.